This show is sponsored by Lila Arboretum Society.
Hi, I'm Vi Gogol, Master Gardener, and this is In the Garden. And today we're at the home of Tony and Helen Maletta, and Helen is with us. Hi.
Hi.
And let's take a good look. I think that she does most of the gardening here.
I do all the gardening.
And does your husband say, I mow the grass?
He mows the grass.
That's what most of the men say. I just mowed the grass.
He just mows the grass.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what's behind us here. Oh, daylilies.
Daylilies, some wild lilies. I call them ditch lilies, the orange ones.
Uh-huh.
Some hostas. These daylilies haven't bloomed yet, but those ones over there have.
Yeah, and I see you've got some autumn joy sedum. Is that what that is? It's sedum of some kind.
Right. Yeah.
And what we call snow on the mountain is peeking out from under one of those hostas.
Yeah, this used to be all snow on the mountain, and it kind of took over. So last year I got in there and dug it all out, but apparently I missed a couple.
Well, I think a little bit of a root might stay behind.
Yeah, a little bit's all right for color, but you get more than that, and it's overpowering.
And you have a fern down there. Is that, I can't see it well, is that an ostrich fern maybe?
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure, but, you know, I dug that up out in the field.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm not sure what kind it is, but it's very aggressive.
It's ostrich.
Okay.
They're very aggressive.
Very aggressive.
And this tree, that there's two of them here. There's one down by Dave, and is that a magnolia?
This is sassafras.
Sassafras. Oh, I love sassafras.
They're beautiful in the fall.
In the fall, and my neighbors cut mine down.
Oh, well, we've got a lot of them. This whole lot, before we bought it, was full of sassafras and poison ivy. So,
yeah, you told me about the poison ivy. I wasn't going to go over that way.
No, actually, I think I've got pretty much all of it gone except up and back. There's a little bit.
Shame on the birds for dropping those seeds all over.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's a sassafras, and then this is some kind of a Japanese maple.
Right, red.
Bloodgood?
Uh-huh.
Bloodgood,
Yep.
Okay, I love that one.
And it was beautiful. When it first opened up, it was very red. You can see up at the top, it's still pretty red.
It's beautiful down here where it's darker.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They're beautiful trees.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
And they dropped a lot of their little seedlings because I pulled a lot of them up that were just little guys.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. So they seed good. And this Rosa Sharon came up by itself. I didn't plant it in the middle of the hostas.
But it's a nice bush, and you've trimmed it so that it isn't hurting the hostas any. I mean, they're growing like they would have if the bush wasn't there.
Right.
And I like Rosa Sharon. I really like them.
There's a lot of them, and I was hoping that they'd be in bloom by the time you guys got here, but...
No, doesn't look like they want to.
No.
It's usually August.
Yes.
Or late July.
Uh-huh.
And this looks like Happy Returns daylily. I love that one.
No idea.
And that looks like, pardon me? I think that one's Pardon Me. That's just starting to bloom. They're all offshoots that have been hybridized from that Stella d'Oro.
Okay.
And I think you have...
We've got a lot of Stellas.
On the other side of the driveway, yeah.
I ordered these from some mail order, and when they came in a little envelope, and I think there was like 2 little roots for each one of them, I was really shocked how small they were, but they've really
slipped.
grown. Yeah,
I've
grown.
ordered those, and I couldn't keep them surviving. Well,
Really?
actually, when I got them, they were in the plastic bags, and they were already starting to rot.
Ah, and I don't know what that one's called.
I don't know that one either, but it's pretty.
It's pretty.
Very pretty. There's, let's see, 25 years ago, I think there were 24,000 different kinds of daylilies, and every catalog that comes out now has more new introductions, so there's a lot more than that now.
Well, we have more colors as we go up this way.
Oh, this
This is a big one.
is that called a spider?
I don't
I think
know.
there's different types, and I think this one is a spider because the leaves are further apart and they're narrower.
Yeah.
And I like the spider ones too. I just don't want them all to be spider.
It's very showy, though.
Yes, it is very.
And I don't know if it's the same thing.
No, that's something different.
Yeah, I see now how that one's very narrow.
And you got a pretty foxglove back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And you've got one of those spider warts that's it's the color of the native ones. That blue, that bright blue.
Okay, they're real pretty in the morning, and then they close back up. But I've pulled a lot of them because they take over.
Yeah.
They take over, and I have no idea what. When I got these little lilies in the package, I should have saved the name and put beside them, but.
Oh, I see you got some foxglove back there that probably are new this year. And
Right.
they'll bloom next year if they don't bloom later this
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice. And all
Yeah.
the daylilies on the other side of this bed.
They're different too.
And check over there to that above ground, partially above ground bed with all the hostas blooming. That's magnificent.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad the verbena wasn't all in bloom yet.
Well, you don't want them all to bloom at the same time.
Right. And then they all die and you don't have anything.
Then you wouldn't have anything. That's
Right.
right. And your liatris is coming out, or you might call it gay feathers.
Yeah.
There's there's 3 different names for it.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of it over there. That used to be in that other bed, and I dug them up, and I thought they were dead, and they came back
They're
up.
bulbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they're little
A lot of
clusters
people don't know that they're bulbs.
Yeah.
And this is,
This stuff, I call it primrose.
yeah, that's what I was
and
trying
it
to
was
say.
very showy in the early spring.
Yeah, that's a spring blooming
It was
one.
yellow. Some of it was red, but very showy.
What are you training? Is that some kind of a clematis tree you're training up the?
Oh, that clematis looked wonderful last year, and this year I put preen down. I killed a bunch of stuff.
Really?
It almost killed that. It killed a bunch of my big lilies. They rotted right off at the root.
How strange.
I've never had preen do that.
What kind of a clematis was that?
It was purple.
Purple.
Yeah,
Okay.
purple.
It did bloom.
It did bloom, and I've got a few new stalks on there just as of the last couple
Yeah.
days.
Well, it'll come back. I'm sure
Yeah.
it will. Be really nice.
And this one I planted this year and it bloomed. I shouldn't have planted it there, but
Why? It bloomed.
yeah, it bloomed. It may go up the tree.
Let's see. Do you find these are invasive?
Very invasive.
Yes.
I don't know what they're called.
Well, there's several names for them. I know them as ladybells, and they were in my catalog as a Latin name that started with A. And then something came out where they reclassified them into campanulas. And I don't want them called campanulas because people think they're like campanulas. And these are invasive.
Very invasive.
Yeah. And you go down 9 inches,
Oh.
and you can find a root that's as big as a carrot.
Right.
It only
exactly.
grows sideways.
Yep.
Yep.
And the deer love them though.
They do. Oh, they don't eat.
the-
I wish they'd eat mine.
I had them out in front last year. I had a lot of them, and the deer just nibbled them right down. When they first come up there, before these guys I think are starting to seed. When they first come up though, they're real colorful and
Yeah,
But-
and the thing is, they start at the bottom and go up, which is nice in the garden, and that's nice for cut flowers. I'm going to cut them all up in a few days,
Yeah.
and I'm going to take them out to the VA and let them use them in their flower arrangements. I'm going to leave enough stems sticking up so I won't have any trouble finding them when I want to dig them up. And your coral bells, I don't know what variety that is with the ruffled leaf, but that is beautiful.
I don't know. You know, when I planted those, I knew the lily was there, or the hosta was there, but I didn't realize it would come over to cover them up.
Well,
so.
that's a big one. I
Yeah.
know what that one back there is, but this one, Siboldii, elegant Siboldii, isn't it something like that? And I've always loved that one, but that one back there is Oh, it's not going to come to me again.
Cerebral.
Crocerigal. Starts with a K.
Well, I've got a big, huge one out in back of the one like
Yeah,
that.
I like those that are upright, and they've made a variegated one in that variety now that's called something else. I don't have that one. I don't remember the name, but there is another one. I kind of like that uprightness.
Right. Yeah, I like the variegated hostas better than just the plain green.
But there's so many things to see: ruffled leaves, cups that hold water, and the little critters like the ones that hold water. Let's see. You got a bird bath there and bird houses, and then some more oriental lilies over there that are.
Yeah.
Some of those are going to be out really nice.
And this clematis didn't do well this year either. I blame it on the preen.
Well, it may be if that's the only thing you did different.
That's it, yep, that's the only thing I did different in these beds. And that, some of it's going to seed now, but that was real pretty.
And one of your foxgloves is finished blooming.
Yep.
And your peonies. And this is black-eyed Susan.
Yep, and that stuff goes all over.
Is that buttercup or?
Yeah, well, I call it buttercup. I'm not sure what it is.
It's one of the common names
Yeah.
of it. And that grass there, isn't that morning light? I think that is, Dave. Morning light.
I tried cutting it down, but it came back.
You cut it down after it was green?
Yeah, I did. It was, yeah.
Oh, and you've got some pretty foliage plants back there, too. We didn't mention those in amongst the...
Yeah, I bought those just for color. They're the only annual.
Can you take those inside, Dave? Caladiums?
I think
Caladium.
they're bulb. You might be able to see.
I just thought maybe you could take
Yeah.
them inside as a plant and grow them in a cool spot, cut them back, and they might come back. If you've got a place to do that, I mean, which I don't. If I
Right.
take them in the house, I don't ever water them.
Well, I've got a cat, and I'm afraid to bring anything in that he might eat. But I like these ones
Nice fat leaves, yeah.
with little kind of lacy edges
Yeah.
on them. Like I say, all of these came from that mail order thing. They were so tiny.
But some of yours survived. None of mine did. I sent them back twice, and then
Oh.
and I thought they never sent me replacements the second time. And then I looked at my credit card bill. They gave me credit.
Oh,
They thought this lady is just
these are pretty.
she's just being too particular.
This is Stella, right?
That's Estella.
Yeah.
This is, pardon me, I'm sure it's pardon me. I love it. That's one of my favorites of the smaller. I think then we got everything down
Yeah,
here.
I think you got everything.
And we got what's behind us. So let's move on, Dave.
You can go straight back. And, this is my husband's doing, so
This is his vegetable garden. Well, it looks like he's got it protected to a great extent. Although the deer might jump it.
we've never had any critters in here.
Yeah, the only one I could think of that would get in there for sure is the woodchuck.
They climb fences.
Yes, they do. And they run along the edges. I watched them out my window. My neighbor said, "Oh, they don't climb, they don't climb." And I said, I stood here in the window and watched them.
Well, this is just kind of a Duke's mixture here. I had my lupine was pretty the other day, but it's going the other way now.
Well, it's a little late for the lupin to be even still at that level.
Yeah,
Of growth.
I've got a couple of them that didn't bloom.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have good luck with them wintering over?
yeah,
I haven't had real good luck with them wintering over at my house.
my sister lives in Marshall, and she's got a whole bed of them. Just that and, oh gosh, I can't think of the name. They're about this high and they're purple. Can't come to me. But there's a couple things around the corner there that you might want to take a picture of.
Lamb's ear?
Lamb's ear, and there's pom-pom lavenders, that little purple thing in front of the lamb's ear. That little purple thing right here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the variety, but I don't know what the plant is. Is it globe? No.
I just bought it this year, and the label said it was a pom-pom lavender.
That's all it said on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested in that one. Finding out what it is.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was a perennial or an annual. But,
I think it's an annual, but treat it as a perennial until you know for sure.
Yeah. And
Oh, the lilies back there are gorgeous, and you've got purple cone flowers blooming. Oh, I just love
yeah,
purple
and
cone
I've
flowers.
got a purple. I think it's purple. That one.
That probably won't be out for the tour, will it?
It's just starting to open.
It might.
Yeah, it's just starting.
There's ferns and hosta. He can just take a picture of it as we walk by, and lilac bushes.
Yeah, I chopped on that this year because it didn't bloom, and the guy on the radio said to cut all the branches that were as big around as my wrist. Cut them out, just cut them out, and it would bloom next year. So I didn't cut that one out, but
Well, that's the way you do some of these flowering shrubs, is you take a third of the growth out, which is usually like 3 stalks that you've got in there. They're probably big enough to take out.
yeah.
And then new shoots replace it.
Uh-huh.
And I've got one that isn't sending up any new shoots, and I'm afraid to cut it.
Then this was a lilac tree, which was beautiful this year. Had the big white flowers on it.
It looks like I see the,
Yeah, some of the dried up ones up there.
yeah, I'm treating mine as a bush, but we got some at the Arboretum that we're treating it, some as trees and some as bushes, right along the road, right along Michigan Avenue.
Okay.
And mine has just finished blooming. I think there might be one blossom that's kind of dried up looking, hasn't fallen off
I
yet.
think about 2 weeks ago it was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was loaded.
Yeah, I've got a couple flower blooming things that I didn't see them bloom this year. I didn't get out to where they were.
And then
Oh,
we're
this-
just in the woods over here.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
this just opened up today.
oh, that's beautiful. But it's a daylily.
Yeah,
But you got another one right behind it to open.
yep,
And I see you trim back
Couple of
your bearded iris.
yep, yeah,
I still think that looks nice to have them. Have you ever had trouble with iris borers?
yes. I can remember when I was a kid, my dad would dig up the irises, and I don't know if it was every year or every couple years. He'd dig them up and shake the dirt all out of them and put them in a wheelbarrow with some water with something in it.
DDT.
Okay.
That you
And I
can't
guess-
buy anymore.
And I guess that soaked all the bugs away.
Well, that kills them when they start trying to eat on them. And what they do is it's a moth lays its egg way up on the stem, and then they eat their way down to the bulb. And by the time they get to the bulb, they're real fat, grubby things.
Oh, okay.
They're nasty.
Yes. And then in the bottom of your iris will be slimy. Like,
yeah, that's where they've been.
Yep.
I should put that information out again.
So,
I'll have to get it on my computer and look up an old newsletter that check them all and see if I put it in one of them.
and then we're just in the woods. I don't get back that far.
No, but this is nice. You're transitioning your garden into the woods, and that's an art, I think. And everyone that I've seen do this don't realize that they're transitioning, and it's beautiful. It just marries you up with the.
Yeah, I need to
With the
get
wood-
in there. Those are all the wild ditch lilies. And when
Yeah,
they're in bloom, they're pretty, but
You don't want to plant them anywhere near your hybrids.
no.
And because of the shade, these are going to be blooming a little later.
Right.
And see all your little seeds coming?
Uh-huh. And I think I want to dig all these up next year and just make this a hosta bed.
Is that a sassafras there?
Yes.
Oh,
The
I
darn
just
thing.
love those. But
I can remember when I was a kid, my dad would take us kids walking out in some woods, and he would pick the little stem, the new little stems, and tell us kids to suck on it.
It tastes like root beer?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yep, this poor bed needs some help.
Oh, it looks really amazing. The only thing you could do back here at all is to mulch it.
Yeah.
That's the
Yep.
only thing you could do.
Yep. I need to.
And it doesn't really have to be mulched. Oh, look up there.
A Rosa Sharon.
Rosa Sharon,
My
still in
first
bloom.
That's the first one. That's the first one.
Yeah, zoom in on that one, Dave. That's pretty.
And this was pretty. This was a smoke tree
Yeah.
that we planted when it was just a little guy.
I've got one growing in a pot that I need to put somewhere, and I can't decide where. They tend to get, I don't know if it's lightning strikes or what, but not here. You wouldn't get it here where you've got yours, but mine's out in the open.
Yeah, I've got another one. See over there, the big one?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's all got the seed things on it.
Yep. I dug mine up in a flower bed when I was weeding at the Arboretum. The trees were growing near that bed and had shed some seeds over there. And I knew that Brett wanted to get rid of them. He wasn't happy with, oh, and your initial.
Yeah, one of the kids gave us that one year for something. Mother's Day, I think it was.
That's a gift for both of you.
Yeah, the chipmunks like this bed. Crazy little
Do you have
things.
any serviceberry trees? The
Like-
chipmunks are running up my stems and eating my serviceberries. And I swore I was going to get some this year to eat. So I got to get out there real soon.
No, I don't know what they're eating, but they make a lot of holes.
You don't have any mulberries.
A lot of choke cherry.
Yeah, they're
trees.
wild. I've got
Yeah.
those too, and I got to cut a lot of them
Yeah.
down. But
And
there's a
another-
Costa Rica. Yeah,
Yep, there's another one.
I love
Actually,
those.
Next year I need to split that. I see there's about 4 stalks in there.
Or just let it get big.
Yeah, I've got a really big one over there.
Yeah, don't put your top priority on it because it can always stay there.
Right. Yeah, and that's not as blue as the other one.
Now, is that back there by the shed? Is
That's-
that a seedling, or is it coming from where one was cut down?
Oh, the sassafras?
Sassafras. Yeah.
Oh, they're all over. Now somebody told me this tree was a pawpaw tree. See the big leaves? And I've got several of them on the property.
Have you ever seen any fruit?
No, somebody said it's like a banana.
Monday night when we're all here for the progressive dinner, bring it up because Brett will know.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a very pretty tree in the fall. The leaves just dry up. There's no color to them. And I've never seen any fruit. And there's another one over that other way.
Take a quick look around this one, Dave, and because there's a nice bird bath in there and some more. You know, that almost looks like that Costa Rica. I don't know if it's yellow because it's getting more sun.
It's too sunny here for it.
Because the one that they hybridized from it does have a little yellow on it.
Well, something's been eaten on it. It's probably slugs.
Yeah. You can get some garden sulfur and sprinkle it around the base. And
Yeah, these lilies are new this year. The first time that they bloomed, and I think all 3 of them will be the coral color.
they're pretty, very
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah,
And then
I had-
more sedum. Is that Autumn Joy?
It's pink.
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 Is it hot pink or is it pink pink?
It's hot pink.
Okay, what's that one called, Dave? Do you remember? I can't remember.
It's hot pink, and yeah, I've got a bunch of the primroses that they're pretty in the early spring because
Yeah.
they're about the first things that bloom.
And you've
Yeah.
trimmed them back so they look neat. And you got to have stuff that blooms early,
Yeah. Yeah.
or you wouldn't enjoy the garden as much.
In that circle there by the bird bath, they're all Stella, and they were all in bloom just the other day. I just cut all the dead ones off yesterday.
Well, I think we've come to the end of the tour. We've probably exceeded our time limit, so that's going to give him fun. That's going to give him fun to edit because we've probably exceeded the time, but you have such a nice large yard with such beautiful plantings. And I thank you very much for being on Garden Tour and for letting people come walking in here and for letting us tape this to show on TV for those who missed the Garden Tour. Maybe next year they'll get tickets and come.
Okay, great. Well, I enjoyed having you come today.
Thank you.
If you would like to become a Master Gardener, call 969-0270, extension 116. If you have questions or suggestions about this show, call 963-1448.
AccessVision. Your voice, your community.